Hi, Kunal. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Julian Fernandez, and I am a senior global and services leader with over 22 decades of experience in building, scaling, and transforming large-scale enterprise support organizations. Um, After a sabbatical made last year, I wanted to resume my professional career, and I've been looking out for a job. Um, which which was about 5 to 6 months. Unfortunately, my attempts were not successful, and it took a while, and I was not getting any leads. And that's when I got to know about Kunal's services. And once we started getting engaging, it yielded a lot of leads. Yeah, changed the way I could position myself in the market, and eventually I had a very successful outcome where a couple of leads and a couple of offers. So that's where we stand.
Great. So, my first question is, what was the challenge you were facing related to resume?
I think the biggest challenge that I face, despite having 2 decades of experience, right, it's very difficult to position yourself, or we do not know how to position ourselves, right? So positioning yourself in the market, capturing the right total value propositioning, and also aligning your competencies to the available demand in the market, right? So I think that was the biggest challenge in today's challenging market situation. So it required an expert review. It required an expert advice, and that's what I believe Kunal Services helped me bridge the gap.
All right. Thank you. So, next, I would like to know after we did the new resume and LinkedIn, I think in around March. So, what changed? What changed in the responses?
A couple of things change. I think I'll start with the change that started with me personally, because during the process, there's a deep dive review of your profile, your career journey, and an interview which captures your entire trajectory, all the wins and gains. So I think that changed my perspective and how should I position myself. So that's the first change. That's the internal change. And the external change is, once you're confident about positioning yourself, once we had the product ready, when I say product, my resume ready, the number of inquiries really increased drastically. Be it proactive, the connects on LinkedIn, as well as the leads that were generated increased drastically. I think that was the first win, and then gave me a lot of option to choose what I want to pursue as a career, right? So the gains were on three sides. So one, internal, from a change of my mindset; two, the external positioning, and that yielding to positive outreach and prospective employers reaching out to me.
Great. So, how many offers you finally received?
I would say, I received at least 4 or 5 prospective discussion. I would still consider them as offers because they were at the offer stage,
Okay.
right? Which was kind of idle prior to me engaging with Kunal and his services, right? So that really gave me a lot of options to decide what career path I want to choose, right? And I consciously was able to make a decision and the kind of employer I would want to pursue for my short term and long term goal, right? I'll put it that way.
Mm. This was a great outcome. So now, what will you tell to a senior professional struggling with their job search and thinking about investing in resume writing services?
I would strongly recommend, anyone beyond 10 years of experience. In fact, everybody, if possible, but at least the bare minimum 10 years plus, should really invest in resume services, and the reason I say that is, all this while you've been reviewing your profile and trajectory and your entire career graph from an inside out perspective, which means you're reviewing it yourself. You probably have your acquaintance or friends and colleagues review it, but getting a third person to review it turns the angle completely from an outside in view, right? The kind of questions that first, the unbiased inquiries and review of your resume is certainly an eye opener. It gives you opportunities to, identify the areas that you are really good at, the gaps that you need to fill in, and how you should position yourself. It was certainly an eye opener for me, and I've heard everybody who's availed resume services have certainly benefited out of it. So my strong recommendation is it's a one-time investment. You should not think twice if you really want to land yourself in a prospective opportunity that's more aligned to your goals and aspirations.
Great. Thank you, sir. I hope our audience will benefit from it.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.